It's a really special program today. All of the board members are going to just be sharing a tidbit with you about what they've been up to, and committee chairs. And this is a really good opportunity to learn an awful lot about our club. And it does occur to me that we have some new members that may not really necessarily know who all of the board members are. So today will be a good opportunity for that reason. And I'm really excited about this. I always love this program each year. So welcome everyone. And today, just as a point of housekeeping, would ask that you be muted today just to keep down background noise during the meeting, and use the chat for any comments and any announcements that you might have as well. And with that, I am very happy to introduce Jackie Claremont, our membership chair, who is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good afternoon, everyone. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow. But if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. It won't be long. You're gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride. If I have things you need to borrow, no one can feel those are your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you don't understand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just come home when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you don't understand. We all need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, right up the road, I'll share your load. If you just call me, I'm right up the road. Just call me, baby. I'm right up the road. I'm a friend. Hold me. I'm right up the road. You gotta hold me. I'm a friend. Hold me. I'll carry your soul. Hold me. I'll carry your load.
So what a perfect song to, I think, to outline Rotary. Every time I hear that song in any rendition, I always think that Bill Withers surely knew a Rotarian, because those lyrics really reflect what Rotary does in the world. And I thought, what better day to play that song than a day when you're going to hear from a group of people that say to every organization that we work with, lean on me. So I was privileged to present that to you today, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed that version. So before we begin our program today, I'd like to ask at this time of joyful moment if there are those that we should consider and we should lift up in our thoughts and prayers that could use our support at this time. If there are those, if anyone would like to bring them forward right now, that would be great.
This is Janet Derrick. Yeah, if everyone can remember a good friend, Larry Altoff, great guy in the community, and he passed away on Sunday.
Oh, thank you, Janet. I'm sorry to hear that. Is there anyone else?
I guess I'd ask you all to, for not such a serious thing. My daughter Sabrina is studying for the MCAT, and she's taking it next Friday, and she is just a ball of nerves. So if I could ask you all to pray to give her some peace and confidence to crush that test next Friday.
That is wonderful, Mike. I know we will all have her in our thoughts for deep breathing and low stress. Congratulations too, that's wonderful. Is there anyone else that we should remember in our thoughts and prayers?
I'll ask.
Sorry.
First, thank you for your prayers for my mom. She's coming home after a month and a half of hospitalization and rehab. She was supposed to go home to my father so she can be cared for, but he's now in the hospital fighting for his life for COVID. He was doing pretty good, and then he took a turn for the worse, and now he's sort of trying to get over the hump, so to speak. So if you keep him in your prayers, I'd appreciate it.
Gosh, Paul, we definitely will keep both your mother and father in our prayers. Thank you.
My niece in India, she met actually Pat Meriwether and Chuck Newman when they visited India first time. She is found to be COVID positive. And she's
Thank you for sharing that, Prakash. We'll definitely keep her in our thoughts and prayers. Is there anyone else that we should remember?
Where did you go?
All right. Well, I thank you for that. I ask everyone to keep all those folks in our thoughts and our prayers for healing and no stress. So I'd like to again offer a very special welcome to our members and guests, and a very special welcome to Sarah, Catarizoli and Andrew Androsina. Gosh, I'm sorry. I thought I was going to do better than that, Sarah. I apologize. We will meet Sarah in a moment. We're very happy to have her with us today as she will be inducted today into Rotary. So for all the others that are here that are a guest, if you would please place your contact information in the chat. I saw that a few did already, and thank you for that. To learn more about Rotary membership, Jackie Claremont is the perfect person to contact, as well as any Rotarians, but Jackie can help you if you have questions about membership, and we hope you do. So thank you for that. So I'm going to note to you that today we are going to be hearing from all of our board members, our committee chairs. I've listed the board of directors here on the slide for you, just so you can see who our board consists of. And I hope that some of the items that they will share will cause you to have some questions that you might want to ask. And I would ask you, if you do, to jot those down to yourself or put them in the chat. At the end of our program today, we're going to, I extended it just a little bit to allow for this. At the end of the program today, we will allow for question and answers. So I know it's tempting to do it while the program is in progress, but to be sure that we give everyone an opportunity to present, we'll hold our Q&A to the very end. So that will be great, and I appreciate that. So next, before we get into our program, I will say that it is a very exciting day at Rotary when we induct a new a new member. Here is our membership chair, Jackie Claremont, to make this introduction today. Jackie?
Yes, hello everyone. Today it is my honor as membership chair and as Sarah's sponsor to introduce you to our club. Sarah has gone through the approval process for our board and our members, and we are excited to make her a member today. I will just briefly say a few things about Sarah, and then she'll be able to tell you a little bit more about herself after her induction. Excuse me. Sarah is originally from Wisconsin. And Sarah, I forgot to ask you if you're a Packers fan or not, because if you are, we have something in common. She is new to the business scene in Naperville, as she is the new director of membership for the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce. So we are very excited to have her be a part of our group. She also is a newlywed, and I see that her husband, Tom, is joining us. So welcome, Tom, and glad that you're here supporting Sarah today. So with that, Alma, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce her for induction.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. And Sarah, we are so happy that you are with us today. On behalf of the board of directors and the membership of this club, it is my privilege and honor to welcome you into the Rotary Club of Naperville. You're joining a worldwide fellowship of business and professional men and women devoted to the service of others. We look forward to the fellowship that we will share with you, as well as your participation in our club projects that make our community, our country, and our world a better place. As a member of Rotary, you will pledge to uphold the highest ethical standards. Rotarians believe that the worldwide fellowship and peace can be achieved when business and professional men and women unite within the Rotary motto, service above self. Sarah, you have been chosen for membership into the Rotary Club of Naperville because fellow members believe you to be a leader in our community and with qualities to champion the message and the principles of Rotary. So Sarah, will you accept the responsibility of Rotary membership, and will you pledge to support the goals and activities of Rotary and the Rotary Foundation? You may indicate your acceptance by saying yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So your sponsor and our membership chair, Jackie Claremont, have or will present you with your Rotary pin and your orientation packet and so forth. Your Rotary membership pin is the only identification that you will need to visit and be welcomed by more than 34,000 Rotary clubs throughout the world in over 200 countries. You've just made a lot of new friends. So fellow members, I am pleased to present to you our newest member, Sarah Catarizoli Androsina. At this time, Sarah, I invite you to say a few words.
Alma, thank you so much. Thank you. Yay, this is a really exciting day. Jackie, Kaylin, thank you so much for your support. My husband, Tom, thanks for being here today and by my side always and now forever. A fun fact, I don't even think Jackie knows this. I was a Rotary Student of the Month when I was in high school. So I was granted a small scholarship, and I just, from that small exposure back then on through till today. On through to today, I have always had a great appreciation for the Rotary and the service-driven mentality behind it. I feel like I have wanted to be a part of a service community for a really long time. I'm just sort of ingrained with servitude. I have a background in hospitality, and I'm with the Naperville Area Chamber of Commerce now, and I feel like a lot of those service skill set built into me behoove me in this position, and also will go a long way with the Rotary. One of my favorite quotes has always been, "Those who bring sunshine to the lives of others cannot keep it from themselves." So by doing good for other people, I see that as, a way to brighten somebody else's day, but also it boosts my own morale as well. Personally, I like to be wherever my husband is. I enjoy being a homebody and spending time with my 2 cats and dog. I like cross-stitching, traveling, being with my friends and family. Like Alma and Jackie mentioned, I'm a newlywed, so we had just moved to Downers Grove not even a year ago. So I like entertaining at our house and just having friends and family near, and interacting with my neighbors and being a part of the larger community, which is something I'm really looking forward to enhancing through my Rotary experience. So thank you again from the bottom of my heart. This is quite an honor, and I'm pretty excited to be here.
Sarah, welcome. Loved hearing your story. I feel like I have known you for a long time already. So thank you very much for that. And I would like to be, I'm honored to be the first to officially congratulate you on being a brand new member of the Rotary Club of Naperville and a member of the Rotary family. So, and Tom, you're a member of the Rotary family too, as Sarah's spouse. So welcome to you as well. So we thank you for joining, having faith in us, and joining the Rotary family. And we truly do look forward to your contributions, because that will make us a better and a stronger club. So
thank you so much. And by the way, you were pretty spot on with both names. I didn't make it easy for you. It's Catarizoli, which you nailed, and then the last name is Androsina. So gets mistaken for Andrew, but sounds like Andrew plus the start of cinnamon.
oh, that's helpful. Good.
Yeah.
I'll try to remember that.
You did great. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you and welcome. So Jackie, speaking of Jackie, Jackie's going to be our first up to talk about her role on the board, and that is the membership committee. So Jackie, take it away.
All right, congratulations, Sarah. And here we go, membership committee. It has been an interesting year to be in charge of membership, but it's been a great ride. Jason and Matt, also known as Santa here, we're a small and mighty committee and always looking for new members. So if you're interested, let me know. This year, we started off with a winter service project, which I think some of you were involved in. We did the meals for the YMCA and the Naperville Park District. Christmas meals, delivered them to homes. That was a lot of fun, a good way to get new members involved. And And Dave, if you wouldn't mind doing the next slide for me. We've inducted 7 new members so far this year, and there is everyone's the new members there. I did have the Bulls theme song on there, but we'll pass, you know, when the lights go, and it's kind of fun. And then the end of the month, we have 2 more on the docket to get inducted. So even though we were on Zoom and not in person, you know, thank you for all of you members that brought forth these new additions to our club. So thank you for that, and keep on working, you know, to bring in people like Sarah and people that want to get involved and have a service heart. We're looking forward to a spring new member event as well, just to get people involved. We did do a new member orientation, like I said, over Zoom, which was a new thing too, but it worked well. And then, you know, I hope at some point to get back to the focus of trying to get some mentors for our new members, and getting our new members really engaged in our committees. So other community members, if you're looking, or committee members, if you're looking for people to join, you know, this is a great group to reach out to. So that's me and our committee.
Great. Thank you, Jackie. You do have a wonderful new member committee, and they're very committed and energetic. And again, I welcome you all. And Jackie, you've done an amazing job in an amazing year with membership. So thank you very much for that. So next up,
today,
well, we have a little musical interlude. That's never a bad thing. So next up, we have got our president-elect, Brian O'Malley, to share a few words with us. Brian?
All right. Thank you, Alma. Hello, everyone. So I am as Alma mentioned, I'm the president-elect. So I will assume the president role starting in July, which is the beginning of our Rotary calendar year. And my role for this year as president-elect is the main focus was to chair our club's annual fundraiser. So this year, our annual fundraiser was Jazz Quilt, and we were able to donate $70,000 to local nonprofits that support mental health awareness and domestic violence prevention. So in addition to that, the role entails just preparing for the upcoming year as president. I just went through my president-elect training and getting our board together, and looking forward to a great year to follow. So thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Brian. You've been a great partner this year to me as president, and I really appreciate your leadership and look forward to more of your leadership next year. So thank you. And up next, we have Kim White. I believe I am going to say, though, that Kim was having some connection issues. And
I was able to get on, Alma.
Yay!
It took a while. It's been a week of connection issues over at my house. It's been crazy. So thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. I have to say the programming committee, I'm thrilled to be joined by Rich Tatara and also Jackie Claremont. I will say trying to do programming in this environment was somewhat of a challenge, but we definitely had our focus to, really focus on putting on creative programming. So I think from reaching our Mount Everest to hearing from our District 203 and 204 administrators, our local college presidents and public safety officials as to how they navigated operations during the pandemic, to honoring and celebrating history, including highlighting phenomenal women of Naperville during Women's History Month, celebrating Black history with Judge Vincent Cornelius, and recognizing the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment. And our most recent program, celebrating 80 years of Rotary, we did a pretty amazing job, I think, this year, putting on some creative programming. We will be wrapping up the year with our scholarship program, RSVP, and of course, the Paul Harris Fellow Community Awards. So I hope that we did and served you all proud this year with programming. Again, it was a little daunting at the beginning to think we were going to be doing all of this online, but I think we did a pretty good job. So thank you.
I want to say thank you, Kim, and I think you did more than a pretty good job. I am in awe of the work that you've done this year, and I really want to say congratulations on stepping up every single week, along with the help too behind the scenes. I'd like to mention Dave Delaterza helps each week with the slides, and we are very grateful for everyone that has put a lot of work in to this program committee. So a big round of applause to you, your entire committee, and what we've been able to accomplish. I'm very proud of that this year. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so next up, we have our foundation committee, which is chaired by Rich Tatara.
Hello, everybody. I just want to make sure, can you hear me, Alma?
I can.
Okay,
yes.
good. I've had some microphone problems recently. The Foundation Committee is charged with trying to make sure that we meet our obligations to the Rotary Foundation for the Polio Plus Fund, our annual fund, and so forth. And I'm pleased to say that on the Polio Fund, which is one of the signature activities of Rotary internationally to eradicate polio from the face of the world, we had a modest goal of $5,000, and we've hit our goal of $14,053 this year, which is slightly ahead of what we collected last year. So that's a good thing. I do want to point out to people that International Immunization Week is going to be celebrated around the world starting on April 24th. It's the last week of April. And around the world, people will be celebrating the concept of immunizing and eradicating these serious diseases. And to illustrate how serious polio is, we are so close to eradicating polio in the world, but it's still present in Afghanistan and Pakistan. On March, the last week of March, they started a new effort to try and get vaccines out in Afghanistan. And 2 days later, 3 polio vaccination workers were murdered in Afghanistan. So people are giving their lives to try and wipe out polio from the face of the earth. And that's how important it is to support these causes. So a very important effort that Rotary is doing. We are 100% Paul Harris Fellow Club, and we celebrate that. And we look for everyone to try and donate at least $25 towards the annual fund every year. That would make us 100% every Rotarian every year giving towards the annual fund. We're at 47% on that so far. And last year, we were at 57% when we ended the year. So we encourage people to try and give towards the annual fund. And I'm going to place in the chat as we speak the information on how one would place that, make that kind of a donation towards the annual fund. And then lastly, one of the great things that we do as the Foundation Committee is we do produce the Paul Harris Fellowship Community Service Awards. This is where we acknowledge other people outside of our Rotary family here in our community with a Paul Harris Fellowship. It's a way for us to acknowledge all the good work that is done by non-Rotarians in the community. And I'm pleased to say that we have a fairly rich set of nominations that we've received from our membership on that. 18 persons in all of the different categories of service that we perform as Rotarians. So our committee will be reviewing these and working through the nominations. The celebration is going to be at our club meeting on June 10th, and we look forward to everyone participating. Again, as with all of our meetings this year, this one will be a little different because it will be via Zoom, but still an important meeting for our acknowledgement of good work being done in the community. Lastly, if you could move to the next slide. I do want to take a quick moment to recognize those who have made significant contributions, most recently to the foundation. You may achieve a milestone when you have more than 1,000 points, and every dollar that's given is equivalent to a point. And so I would like to acknowledge Kurt Stowers, who recently passed a threshold of Paul Harris Fellowship +8. And he is also a member of the Paul Harris Society, where they pledge to give at least $1,000 to the foundation every year. And so thank you for that, Kurt. And then I also passed that milestone in the last month since our last ceremony. So thanks to those that are giving to the foundation. Thanks for your support of the foundation. And we look forward to the Community Service Awards on June 10th. And that's it for foundation. Alma?
Thank you, Rich. Thank you very much. Thanks for all the work that you've done as foundation chair. And I also want to note that Rich is our president designee. So Brian will be president beginning in July, then Kim will follow him the next year, and then Rich will follow Kim the following year. So want to make sure that everyone is aware of that succession plan. So congratulations on a great year, and thank you, Rich. So next we have our immediate past president, Rachel Osera. Wonderful leader for Rotary and in our community. And Rachel, would you like to share a few words with us?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Well, thank you, Alma. And immediate past president is a very good role. It's the best role I had heard. I think Randy Ems and maybe others, Nina had mentioned that to me, and it truly is, especially with a club like ours and a board like this, where it's really been an advisory capacity role for me this year. But that doesn't mean I haven't been doing things and been active. I have several significant roles at the district. I'm on the board of directors, serving out my first year. My term goes through the end of next year for the district. And also, I'm in my second year as District Rotary Foundation Committee Chair. So it keeps me really pretty busy and pretty engaged with our club and with many other clubs throughout the district. We have a really large portfolio. We're really active in grants, both district grants and global grants. A lot of leadership coming out of our club. I can't even tell you how significant the efforts have been from our International Service Committee, really getting many other clubs in the district involved in global grants. It's tremendous. In fact, I saw a report just a couple days ago for our zone, and there's about, 15, 16, 17 districts in our zone, and we actually have the largest portfolio of active global grants of any district in our zone. So it's quite amazing, quite an impact that we're having. I do a lot of club visits, even in the virtual world. This morning I was with the Rotary Club of Montgomery. I had the opportunity to recognize some of their new Paul Harris Fellows, so which was really cool. Very excited. I'm working on the district conference planning committee. So if you haven't signed up for the district conference, you're definitely going to want to do that. It's free. Governor Chuck is trying to get us up to 300 participants or more, and there's all kinds of awesome raffle prizes available. I can certainly vouch for that. And I'm working on a foundation recognition event for the district, which will be on May 27th. So there'll be information coming out about that. And the Rotary Club of Naperville will be recognized as one of the top giving annual fund per capita clubs for the district last year. We were number 3. Per capita, we gave over $400 per person to the annual fund. So it's a credit to all of you and just the things that Rich was saying a few minutes ago. So thanks, Alma, and congratulations to you and all the board, and welcome, Sarah.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you very much. Thank you for your leadership in the district and in our club as well. Thanks for all your service.
Sure.
Next up, we have our finance committee, and today Kurt Stowers is our club treasurer, and the assistant treasurer, Bill Johnson, is going to share a bit about what they have been up to. Bill?
Thanks, Alma. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. The finance club or committee is charged with overseeing the club's finances and providing financial support for really all the activities. And you think of what the club does, we do a couple of things. We bring in money and we pay out money. We bring in money through dues and donations, and we pay out in grants and scholarships and things like that. So just about every activity of the club has some finance aspect, and this committee helps to oversee that. We've done a couple of interesting things this year. We added a pay feature so we can pay electronically for club dues and sergeant's fines. We also have implemented a new club dues collection policy that gives a bit of structure and a timetable around collection of our dues. And the third thing we've done is, in light of no lunch meetings, which are a significant part of our expenses and a significant part of what our dues have been, then we've had lower dues, right, for the last 2 sessions, $125 or $150. And the finance committee worked in a number of ways to analyze, what should dues be in light of uncertainty around when we would meet again and start incurring those costs. Last thing we had that was a pretty significant achievement was tax exempt status for a sister organization of Rotary Club of Naperville, Rotary Club of Naperville Charities. This is the 501c3 nonprofit organization that where we handle all of our nonprofit activity, fundraising and giving. We were able to get tax exempt status for this. So in the future, when we do fundraising activities and have to purchase things, then anything we purchase, we won't have to pay sales tax on, which is a good thing. Anyone who is interested in joining the club and learning more about what we do in the club from a financial standpoint and have some comfort with numbers, we'd welcome you. You don't have to be an accountant. I'm not an accountant, but we'd welcome your energy and contributions. Thanks.
Thank you, Bill. You and Kurt have done an amazing job this year, and I've actually been privileged to serve along with you and provide a tiny bit of input on in your committee meetings. And I will say they've been amazing committee meetings this year, and I've learned a lot. So so thank you for all you've done.
Our pleasure.
And next up, we have our board secretary, Catherine Hoffman. Catherine, are you on mute? All right. Well,
now I am. Okay. Hi, everyone.
There we go.
I take notes better than I do technology. So anyway, when Alma provided this exercise to figure out what I do as a secretary, I'm like, well, I take the minutes for the board meetings, But when I started figuring out that I actually do a couple more things that everyone might not be aware of, and one is to certainly take the minutes at the board meetings and figure out what is important and information. Maybe above and beyond what the board reports, which are what the individual members send in that we discuss during the board meetings, and have those, both the minutes and the board reports uploaded onto the website, which are available for everyone to see. If you are interested, I can help you find those. I do a few other things, such as now that Jackie has inducted Sarah there, I will be the one to upload your information, Sarah, into not only our Club Express, but into Rotary International. And from there, you will be receiving the Rotary magazine. So look for that in your mailbox. If any of you have anything on your website that you think needs changing, maybe you've moved, maybe you have a new phone number or a new email address and you don't know quite how to get into the website, just send me an email or give me a call and I'll be happy to do that for you. I work closely with Jackie. I also work closely with Kurt and now Bill for next year on the treasurer side, because one of the things I do is also, I'm the person that is where is something? Do you have something? Can you get something? I'm kind of that person. That's kind of something I like to do, and I am detail oriented, and I kind of enjoy that participating in that role. And I also appreciate working very closely with Alma. I like to think that sometimes I'm the bouncer offer of ideas. So sometimes I think if she just needs to speak of something, I'm a good listener. So hopefully I've been instrumental and appreciate and have fun with my role. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. Thanks.
Catherine, thank you. What a pleasure it is to work with you. And you are right. You have been a very, very good partner in terms of bouncing things off and having an enormous amount of detail orientation to the job that you do. And I want you to know that I appreciate it, but I also want you to know that the entire club appreciates it. And so thank you very much. What a pleasure to have worked with you through this year.
Thank you.
So next up for club service, our club service committee has co-directors Chris Cash and Lauren Michaels Harris. And Chris is here to share some thoughts with us.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Chris.
Can you see me, hear me?
Sure can.
Okay, great. Well, I am in charge of club service, which normally would be the creating fellowship through our club through social events. Now, this past year made it a little difficult, and normally there's a Raise the Bar, which takes place the fourth Thursday of the month in lieu of our regular meetings. Raise the Bar is typically held outside of our normal venue for our club meetings. And it can be anything from a restaurant to a comedy club to a picnic, anything that your imagination would allow that could help to have fun with our committee. Now in 2020, we were unable to do that, so we had to move everything onto Zoom. And we began by starting to have guests come on, like I had a French pastry chef come on the first time. We had a get out event where we encouraged members to go out and get takeout food, share their experiences online, and then we had a photo contest. And then moving forward, we began to become mindful that everybody was kind of experiencing Zoom fatigue. So we switched to a little bit more casual. Alma came up with a President's Porch Thursday where people could come and ask the president any question they'd like and just have a casual evening of conversation. And that's worked out well throughout the remainder of the year. But then moving forward into our future, I will have to get used to going back out again and finding places to have exciting events. And I hope that, can happen maybe in the fall. So yeah, I would have loved to have been more of a cheerleader out there getting everybody to events, but it was kind of prohibitive this past year. So we'll hope for a better fall.
Chris, thank you. You are a cheerleader. If you were more of a cheerleader, I don't know how that would even happen. But you are a cheerleader, and you have injected a lot of fun into the areas that you can with club service. So I want you to know we appreciate that. So thank you very much for your service.
Thank you.
And next, the Community Service Committee, co-chaired by Joe Nelson and Stephanie Kostelik. So if you would both take it away.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. We have quite a bit of projects we work on throughout the year. A rough goal that we always start with is about one service project a month from July to the following July. We don't always hit that each month, but we do well over 12 projects in a year. A couple of them that I don't see listed here, but that Stephanie has been very integral in would be, for example, the Veterans Coat Drive and our St. Patrick's Cleanup. And so Stephanie, would you like to take a couple seconds and talk about those for us?
Sure. In the fall, we do a large coat drive to collect winter jackets for veterans that male veterans. Go to a number of different businesses and participating community providers to collect coats and network, to help those folks out during, the winter season. So we'll be starting that again this fall in honor and timing again to tie into Veterans Day in November. We also did in the fall a cleanup for St. Patrick's residents. Had a great crew out beautifying St. Pat's. They greatly appreciate it. It was a super event, especially with the need for social distancing and being outside, that we could all gather together as a group, maintain health and safety, but do good for a strong community member like St. Pat's.
Thank you, Stephanie. And we'll actually be talking here in a couple seconds, I'll bring up another opportunity in that St. Patrick's vein. But other things you'll see listed on this, the blood drive from November 20, that was in concert and cooperation with the American Red Cross and the Naperville Park District. It was a very successful event. I believe the stat they gave us that the total blood donated that day could save up to 109 lives, which was always good to see that tangible impact. And that whole relationship came about by our late member, Dave Wentz. And so in his memory, we're throwing another blood drive 23rd this year. I've got a little bit of back and forth with the Red Cross to finalize the flyer, but I'd expect to see that sometime next week. So we're continuing on that, dare I call it a tradition, but that idea and relationship that Dave helped develop. Some other things that our committee does revolves obviously around the community. That's part of our name. And we take opportunities whenever they come to us, like this early childhood education grant. And Rachel earlier talking about her role with the district and the foundation, this wouldn't have been possible without them. And I'm sure I'm short selling that, there's others involved, but we had an opportunity to partner with the other local Rotary clubs in Naperville and pooled our money together. And then through another entity, we're able to double that and donated quite a bit of money to a company or organization rather, called Bernie's Book Bank, which distributed or is in the process of distributing thousands of books to youngsters who need them all year long. So other things you'll see on here is the Rotary Salutes Veterans Program, RSVP. That leads into the next comment for Week of Service. That whole week, May 16th through May 23rd, we're going to have quite a few opportunities or moments of celebration for our community, one being this RSVP program, May 20th. There's going to be 5 veterans that have been nominated. Dick Galitz is the chair of that subcommittee, and we're working with a few other folks in our club to put that presentation together virtually. Unfortunately, we can't in good conscience do this in person, and so we're working through all those details, but that will be part of the Week of Service. The other part you've already been told about is the blood drive for Dave Wentz, or in memory of, on the 23rd, but the Saturday before, we're going to be working on a pollinator project in the St. Patrick's area, or at St. Patrick's, I mean, and part of that will include a little cleanup opportunity, but we'll have more details to come on that. It's still a little too early to explain exactly what we're planning to do, but that will kind of round out our Week of Service there at the end of May. And then I don't know if we have anything set up for June. That's typically an off month for us because everybody's winding up for summer and Rotary's winding down. But any questions on that, let Stephanie or I or Alma know, or anybody else you may know that's on the committee. But lastly, before I stop here, some of you already know this, but I wanted to take the chance to let the whole club know. This will be my last couple months here as a member of our club. My significant other and I are moving to Minneapolis for a job she accepted that we could not turn down. So it's been a pleasure working with everybody and getting to know those of you that I get to know well and others just on the surface, but I really appreciate all the opportunity and look forward to staying in touch after I depart. So thank you.
Thank you, Joe and Stephanie. And I would be remiss if I didn't take this opportunity to really offer a heartfelt thank you to Joe for all of the work that he has done to work alongside Stephanie to do the work that they've done in the community. And we really are going to miss you, Joe. And I know that the entire club joins me in offering up congratulations to you. You're going to be making a great move, and we're all very happy for you, but we all are going to miss you. And we certainly will welcome you back anytime as a guest. So do not.
Thank you very much, Alma. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. So next up, our vocational committee is chaired by Mike Briggs.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Joe, thanks for everything that you've done. And I can see the notes are going through. Everyone really, truly appreciates all your hard work. So thank you for that. I've got the pleasure of leading the vocational committee. We kind of decided to take on the challenge of trying to improve the knowledge of for our membership so that people know what each other does. As we looked, particularly when we were in the middle of the pandemic, the whole idea of Rotarians helping fellow Rotarians was something that we thought that there would be value in being able to provide better information and share that. What that morphed into was an involvement in a steering committee for a pilot website that was actually sponsored by Rotary International that involved 3 districts all in the Chicagoland area, and we were one of them. There were some things that were very positive about that, and you may recall in a prior meeting, we talked about that. I think it was in October. Some of the feedback that we provided, what actually evolved was that the website was no longer continued, but it was clear that the directory was a very positive thing, as well as the inclusion of Rotary Means Business. As we gathered more additional information, there wasn't clear as to how this was going to evolve, and so we've gone about and created our own form. And many of you will have received or should have received an email. If you didn't, if you could please email me to let me know you didn't get a form, I'll use that email and I will send it to you. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to create that information and replicate it and have better information on the Rotary information form that will enable us to be able to connect Rotarians to one another. And in particular, right now, we're starting with just our club. So I hope to share more in the next couple of weeks, because we've got the agenda for the program meeting on April 29th. But this is where we're at, and I'm hoping that this will be something that will be helpful for one another. And so should you have need and you want to choose to work with a fellow Rotarian, you'll know who to look to and who does what, and hopefully that information will be of value as we move forward. That's all I've got.
Mike, thank you. Thank you very much. I know I had a couple of folks reach out to me this last week to ask me if the survey that they received if that was valid. You know, we all are getting a lot of email recently that we wonder about. I assure you, yes, it was. And I do hope that everyone takes advantage of filling out the information that Mike is gathering and being able to support our fellow Rotarians when we have a need for a business or a service. And I really, really like the work that you're doing on this, Mike. So thank you.
You're welcome.
So next up, our International Service Committee is chaired by Barry McEwen. Barry?
Hello, everyone. I'd like to give an overview of what our committee has been doing. First, we've got a very engaged committee. Just delighted to be part of it. And I'm going to just touch upon some of the things we do and give you an idea of the other things that we work on. A big part of what we do are the schools in Honduras. We're working on 7 schools right now. 4 where we are the lead club. I'm sorry, 3 where we're the lead club, and 4 others where we're a collaborating club supporting the project. This is largely the vision of Chuck Newman, and what he's been able to do here has been really rather remarkable. And he's been able to engage 17 different Rotary clubs with regard to these 7 grants. And for many of them, this is their first international project. And I don't think he had to twist arms. I think that they were just looking for the opportunity. So it's really working out well. And the way that these schools are set up is that in addition to Rotary and another organization that Chuck is well, Chuck's the president of it, Schools for Children of the World, the local communities and governments are also very much involved. And just to give you an idea of the levels of support, the 17 Rotary clubs that are involved contribute about $100,000 towards the 7 schools. The Rotary Foundation contributed about $250,000, and the communities contributed $230,000. So the communities definitely have some skin in the game, But what they don't have is, and again, this is a tribute to Chuck, they don't have the right to take shortcuts on the construction of the buildings. They don't have the right to cut back on the curriculum or water and sanitation. So it ties together really well to put something in place that will be sustainable, make a difference, and be there a long time. So that's the schools in Honduras. When we started 2020, like everyone else, obviously we had no idea what we'd be facing with regard to COVID. But Rotary responded, our club and our district responded as well. One of the projects that hopefully everybody is aware of, where we provided well over 200 iPads to hospitals and nursing homes. This was a district global grant, and 30 clubs in our district, so that's about half, participated in that project. And in addition, a district in Japan, a club and a district in Japan provided significant support. We also provided some life-saving medical equipment to a hospital in San Pedro Sula, Honduras. And we also provided additional COVID and hurricane support to Honduras, as if COVID wasn't tough enough for them to handle. They had 2 devastating hurricanes late last year. We also provided COVID and flooding support to Uganda and some additional COVID support to Sierra Leone. And again, just to give you an idea of the broadness of what we're trying to do is, in addition to the 3 schools in Honduras, we are the lead club on 7 other global grants. And in addition to the 4 clubs where we are collaborating on those grants, we are a collaborating club for about a dozen other grants. And Rotary has 6 areas of focus, and our grants touch upon all 6. There's soon to be a 7th, the environment. Stay tuned because we're going to be involved with that as well. And our grants take place on 5 continents. And yes, one of those continents is North America. And yes, one of those countries is the United States. And yes, one of the areas that benefit from our grants is the Chicagoland area. You heard about the iPad project, where Japan is the lead international club, but Mexico and India are also lead international clubs for projects that are benefiting the Chicagoland area. The other thing I want to mention is the International Service Summit is coming May 1st. It's just over 2 weeks away. This will be a virtual event. We've got 2 great panel discussions, and we're going to have 25 to 30 exhibitors, maybe more. We're still counting. In the past, our club has had pretty good representation at the in-person events. We'd love to have big representation from our club and lots of other people. It's going to be a great event. If you want to know more about our projects, visit the website and look under the International Committee, and you'll see more. Thank you to Carl Schumann for all the documentation he does there. And any of you are welcome at our meetings, second Fridays of every month at 7 a.m. on Zoom. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barry. Thank you for all that you and your very active committee do. So thank you very much. The Youth Service Committee is up next and chaired by Maria Caselli.
Thank you, Alma. So as you can see, the wonderful committee and the goals that we have. This year, we received 82 online applications for the scholarships, for the 5 different scholarships we award annually. And this week, the committee members are selecting finalists to be interviewed. The Pursuit of Life Awards presentation will once again be virtual this year and will take place Thursday, May 13th during our regular scheduled meeting time. Ed Graham has already been in touch with junior high school administrators in districts 203 and 204 about the 8th grade Service Above Self Awards. Celebrations will vary with each school, and we will keep you posted on all of that coming up later on. Casey Chitwood has done an amazing job working with high school Interact clubs. Last February, the Interact members sent Valentine's Day cards to seniors residing in assisted living centers. Additional projects will be shared at a later date. And finally, North Central College Rotary Club has a new president and club members. Meetings take place Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. They are currently discussing service project ideas for Earth Day and Wellness Week, which is coming up in mid-May. And they have received information about the International Service Summit for May 1st, as well as the Grant Park cleanup project Rotary International informed us all about a week or two back. And that is all I have for them. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. And thank you for your great leadership of this team. This is definitely one of the most important things that we do as a club. And thank you for your leadership and for the leadership of your entire committee. So thank you very much. Next up, we have our sergeant. And Laura, are you with us? All right. Laura and I made a pact that if her connection did not suffice, that I would be guest sergeant. So I am going to try my hand at being guest sergeant today, and to let you know that we just heard from Maria about youth service and scholarships, and those scholarships would not be possible if it was not for the generosity of those that have Happy Bucks and pop a donation of funding into the link each week. And with that, Laura, before she had to make an exit, did pop the link into the chat. So if anyone is so inclined and would like to make a scholarship donation, the link is there. And now you know why I've never been the sergeant. So thank you all very much for your patience with me as I try to do a little bit of justice to that role. So don't worry, Laura will be back. So next up, we have our director at large. Again, back up is Maria Caselli. So Maria.
Hi again, everyone. Thank you, Alma, again. So the Toastmasters and Rotary Fellowships are really here to enhance the membership that we have. And all that I've been trying to do is try to inform all of you about both the organizations. So real quickly, Toastmasters is a worldwide network of clubs dedicated to helping its members become more effective speakers, communicators, and leaders. So it's definitely a professional development opportunity for folks. And there are Toastmasters clubs in Naperville that continue to meet. They are virtual. And more information about Toastmasters will be in an upcoming issue of the Wheelhouse. As far as the Rotary Fellowships, they are international groups that share a common passion. Being part of a fellowship is a fun way to make friends around the world, explore a hobby or profession. There are over 90 different fellowships, including gourmet cooking, music genres, photography, a variety of sports, wine and spirits, and so much more. And Rotarians are also encouraged to create new fellowships. I will put the links in the chat section along with my email address if anybody has any questions or interested in getting more detailed information about both Toastmasters as well as the fellowships. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria. And up next, we have Roy Bynum is our one of our directors at large and is also a past president of our club. And Roy, would you like to share a few words with us, a few words of wisdom today?
I don't know how much wisdom there'll be, but I'll give it a go. You know, I've been in the club 27 years now, and so it's interesting as we have developed and become so efficient. And quite frankly, I think the best part of our club is the leadership that we've been able to provide year after year after year after year. And Alma, you are to be congratulated for this year because it has been such a special, special time. But that's all I have. You know, I try to be the history person and tell you what's gone on in the past, but we've got a great group of people. It's a great club, and it's wonderful to be involved. Thanks, Mama.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you for that, and thank you for your service and for always being willing to offer whatever we need and whatever we ask you for. So I really appreciate your service. Thank you. And next up, we have got the Technology Committee, and Dave Delaterza and Jonathan Newman are here to share a few words with you.
Alma, I'm not sure if you saw Dave's message. He had to take off. His daughter is sick and he had to go pick her up from school. So,
oh my goodness,
yeah.
I hate that. No, I did not see that.
Well, I'm glad you didn't notice, because you didn't seem to see, you didn't notice the seamless transition between who was sharing the slides. I switched, it took over.
Wonderful. Well, if we I know Franklin was not able to be with us. John, are you with us today?
Oh, I'm here.
Wonderful. Would you like to share a few words of wisdom?
Sure. I'll happily pick up the ball that was was never intended to be in my hands. So basically, this year has been all about, we really kind of readjusted the technology committee, and as a philosophy, we came to the realization that our goal is to use technology as a tool to make everybody's life easier, not necessarily force everybody to use a new piece of technology if it's not going to be helpful. So what we're actually in the process of doing is we are constructing a new, more streamlined website that is going to still give us everything that we could possibly need or want, but without a lot of the headaches and difficulties that we've been dealing with our current service. Also gives us a little bit more customization. And in my opinion, the most important part is, say in 5 years, if there's been turnover in the technology committee, it won't be a whole chore to get the new people trained up and trying to figure out the new tool, because that's always been the hardest part with this. We're also transitioning to G Suite to centralize our documents, our communications, and our various processes. One of the things that we're going to be working for is we're going to eventually have everything transferred over to a Google Calendar, for example. So you'll be able to sync any and all calendars or activities that you may like with your own personal calendar very easily. You'll have easy access to when any committees are meeting, when any activities are happening, and we'll make it so that it's easier to get a hold of the information and also easier to update it. As of course, you've probably noticed, it's not exactly super easy to update the information as it currently is. Now, the one thing that I will say is there are 3 of us on this committee, and all 3 of us are regularly running into challenges that either we know very little about, but we know we can figure it out, or are just swamped in terms of time that the task might actually take. So we are looking for people to join our committee. So if anybody happens to have any website development experience, any experience working with G Suite, that would be huge in helping us. But also, I want everybody to be able to look at us as a tool and as a resource, so that if you come up with it'd be really nice if we could do this, there's a pretty good chance that we on the technology committee will be able to figure out a way for you to do that. So we are always open to you shooting us an email or asking us questions, or if you have an idea of something you'd like to see implemented technologically, we'll always be interested in taking a look.
That is great, John. Thank you. And for having the ball squarely tossed to you, you took it and ran with it, and thank you. And thank you for your service on this committee. You have been delightful to work with, you and Dave and Franklin, and I really do appreciate all the things that you have worked on and that are underway. So really do appreciate it. Thank you. So next up, the Communications Committee is chaired by Lisa Berry, and Hillary Decent is on this committee. And Lisa, unfortunately, is out of town at a family funeral situation. And so she asked me if I would just deliver a few notes here on her behalf. And The one thing that I think you all probably know has been a product of this committee very recently is the Wheelhouse. And I really congratulate Lisa and Hillary on the great work they've done in constructing and creating our brand new newsletter. And the first and third Monday of each month is when you can expect the latest and greatest from them, and regular posts of club meetings and activities that you would like to send. Send anything Lisa's way in terms of social media. And Lisa is continuing to use Hootsuite for the social media posts just as an efficient tool. So if you're interested in helping out with communications, Lisa would be happy to hear from you, Lisa and Hillary. And I want to congratulate you both on doing an amazing job and great work this year. And it's been a challenging year. I know that's been said a few times, but that is certainly the case. So I want to say congrats and thank you to both of you. So up next is Ed Graham, our Governance Committee Chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ed Graham. I was asked to serve as governance chair, which is my inaugural position with the Rotary Club board, and it's been a delight to work in that capacity. The work has been confined to examining what the formal documents of the Rotary Club of Naperville look like from a fresh review perspective. At the direction of Alma, I've undertaken a review of the bylaws that govern the club. I've learned that a constitution for the Rotary Club of Naperville needs to be put in place. And so those two documents are in the works, and I had the benefit of receiving some feedback from Alma, Brian, and Kim as future leaders of the club, so that I don't get too far off track in terms of any suggested revisions that I would make. So given the lateness of the hour and the fact that I get paid by the word, Alma, I'm going to leave my report at that.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you for your service, and I can always count on your brevity, and the content is still very rich and very meaningful. So I thank you for your work this year. It's been a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you.
So next, I realize that we have run over, and I want you all to know that I recognize that. With as many moving parts as we have in a program like this, that is entirely possible for that to happen. Even though I don't ever like that to be the case, but I would like for those that I promised you a Q&A opportunity. So I would like to open it up if anyone has questions that they would like to ask of any of the presenters, to please fire away and raise your hand. And if you do have something in the chat, I will actually take a look now and see if I can find any questions that anyone has, but I'll be quiet and let you ask away. It looks like to me that everyone did such an amazing job that they covered everything so clearly and carefully that no, I see we do have one. There is Brand Babosky raising his hand with a question.
I don't know, am I off of mute now?
You are good.
Yeah, all right, good. And this does not have to be answered today, but we started off with Jackie and we also finished up with Ed, I think. And so a question that I've had relates to membership, and I'm looking for an answer now, but maybe Ed could put it under his purview, and that's this. In the former days, and I don't know when it all changed, if it did change, but membership wasn't available to just anybody. Of course, we go through the routine of somebody nominating and then reviewing and board approval and then membership, et cetera. That's pretty much stayed. But one of the requirements used to be that the person either worked within your club's area or lived within it. And so I've raised the question. I noticed over the years here, and this is primarily because our club is such a great club. Probably, I would think maybe the best in the district, and maybe, well, it doesn't matter. It's a good club. And Ed would appreciate this. We have a term in the law called forum shopping. You have a lawsuit, you look for the place that's going to be most favorable, you believe, to your case, even though it may not be directly related to what happened. And so I've kind of noticed where we've taken people in that don't live here and don't work here. And yet there's clubs in the areas that they live or work. So I would like for Ed to determine if that is still one of the requirements. If it is, then I think we should maybe give a closer look at that when it comes to membership. If it's not a requirement, then so be it.
You know, I would like to, if I might, speak to that, and I would like to certainly have Ed make a comment, or Jackie as well, or any of our past presidents that are with us. But I would like to say that one of the things that I am the most proud of in our club, and for the 18 years that I've been a member, is the very inclusive nature of the Rotary Club of Naperville. And certainly, while it's logical that members or folks that seek membership in the club usually live or work in the general area, and that is certainly usual occurrence. But I certainly will say that that as far as a rule or a requirement, there is no rule or requirement in our documentation, policies, procedures, or bylaws for folks that must be living in the area in Naperville, that is. In the general area, it certainly makes sense that people would be living there for convenience sake. We, as a Rotary Club, welcome anyone into membership that is interested in serving their fellow man, that is interested in serving the community and the globe, much as you've heard today from the board members, the committee members that have spoken. So certainly would not want anyone to go away from this meeting thinking that we are anything but inclusive of all that would seek membership in our club. And with that, I would turn it over to either Ed or Jackie, if you'd like to comment any further. Or
Alma, this is Rachel. As immediate past president, would you mind if I
would welcome your comments.
And I'll be very brief. I absolutely concur with everything that you've said. And as a matter of fact, I think that through COVID and our experience with Zoom and meeting virtually, you know, we find that we're able to connect even more broadly than we ever thought possible. And even with when we do go back to in-person meetings, my belief is there'll always be a hybrid component. We'll always continue to engage people online. I think I'm just looking at the Rotary Opens Opportunities logo, you know, down at the lower left of the screen. And I think that's the direction that we've gone in. And Naperville is our focus, and that community is our focus. But I absolutely agree that our direction is to be inclusive to people, and you know, and really kind of expand our borders and take on new horizons. And I would really worry about you know, putting up walls.
Well,
maybe I didn't say that right, but that's how I feel.
Rachel, let me make a comment as a past president also. You know, it wasn't too many years ago that women weren't allowed in our club. And it wasn't too many years ago you could only have one attorney and had to choose what that one person is in the group. So I think probably where Brand is going is it would be nice to be able to be inclusive, as Alma says, but I think we need to have that in writing or someplace in our bylaws so that people will understand that up front.
I think maybe since I raised the question, and it's not to get necessarily argumentative, but if we're talking Rotary, I mean, I thought that I know that Rotary International has a number of requirements in that for membership. And so if we're talking with somebody, say from Wheaton, I know one or two people that live and work in Wheaton and they have no connection with Naperville, and Wheaton has a Rotary Club. So if they want to join a Rotary Club, then it would seem to me that that would be the logical one. But again, I do believe that we have a desirable reputation. And it'd be like a ball player wanting to play maybe for the Yankees or something other because he's got a better chance at something rather than to play for some other team that drafted him. That's all. And I think that, Roy, I thank you for that. We should kind of get clear on that and maybe give it some thought as to if we're part of Rotary, and Rotary is an institution that somebody wants to join, then maybe kind of look at that and see, well, why is it our club that they're joining instead of one that might make to the layperson more sense? That's all. If Ed could do that, that would, and do it briefly and shortly and not charge us a lot of money, I would hope he would do that.
Well, Brand, you are absolutely, your timing is impeccable because those are the very kind of things that Ed is working on. And I appreciate the fact that you brought up that type of a question, because if there is ever any question at all, that our club will welcome anyone, everyone, welcome those that are looking to serve the community and the world, then we need to make sure that is as clear as it can be. And I am certain that that is going to be on the top of the list of the things that Ed is looking at in the documents that he is working on for us. So I'm glad that we were able to shine a light on that, because I want to make sure everyone is aware of just how proud we are to be able to welcome those into our Rotary family. So I appreciate the opportunity to speak about that. Ed, do you have any comments you might like to make?
Thank you, Alma. Just briefly, again, I think it's appropriate to have the dialogue. It's an issue that should be sorted through and as part of the undertaking of reviewing the bylaws. I look forward to developing something on that topic for consideration by the board.
I could just, I'm sorry, I don't mean to belabor, but if I could just pipe in with one thing, and sometimes you have to be able to step back to see, but our club is a beacon. It's a beacon of excellence. You know, there are people who have joined our club who could have joined other clubs, you know, and everybody does what fits them. But, you know, we're known for our service and engagement, and we're known for our diversity. And I think that's a great thing. And that just tends to attract more people. So, you know, I think it's all very healthy and very good. And those qualities, all those things we heard in the program today, the new ideas, the big horizons, the global, the local, the caring, that's why people want to join.
Very well stated, Rachel. Thank you. Thank you very much. I see by the clock on the wall that, my goodness, I have let us go far over our allotted time. And if there are any brief questions that anyone would like to pose, I see John Anderson has his hand raised, and he's been so patient and has had his hand raised for a long time. So John, I'm going to call on you for a question. I don't see another hand, but John, take it away with your question, please.
Thank you, Alma. Can you hear me?
I sure can. You're good.
Okay. Good to see you all. On the 5th, I brought an envelope over to the Naperville post office, to the counter where I know one of the clerks, and it's got 2 checks in it. And so far, my bank says I'm just as rich as I was before. That is, the checks aren't cashed. What's a reasonable time for someone to pick up the checks?
We, John, I will make sure that we look right into that. We pick up the mail out of our post office box approximately once a week. So I'll make sure that we get over in the next day or two. And thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it.
I told you I'd be brief, and and it's always good to see you.
It's great to see you too, John. Thank you.
With Kurt. Kurt is away and he's coming back on Monday. He's going to go to the post office.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the guy that's waiting for it.
Yeah. And just to add one thing to what John said is that he made an extraordinarily generous contribution to the upcoming plastic recycling and repurposing project that's taking place in India. So thank you for that, John.
Sure,
John-
and I heard from one of the recyclers here in downtown Chicago, so they're interested.
John, thank you. You are a valued Rotarian and a very generous Rotarian, and your ideas are never ending. And I say keep them coming. So thank you very much.
Well, you don't have to deal with me like Barry does.
Well, I think that to be fair to all of you, to be fair to all concerned, and I would like to build goodwill and better friendships by making sure that we can let you get back to the rest of your afternoon. And as much as I hate to do this, I think we need to move on to a next slide if we have one here, and end up, I think, very appropriately with we have a quote here. I don't know any other way to lead but by example. I thought that was a very appropriate one for today's program. And I think that the examples that are set by all those that have presented today are very obvious that they are excellent leaders. So thank you all for your leadership. And with that, I think it is very appropriate that we all end this meeting with the 4-way test of the things we think, say, or do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will be beneficial to all concerned.
And with that, the next slide, I would like to say thank you. I would like to remind you to wear a mask and stay safe and get vaccinated and have a wonderful weekend. And thank you for leading a life of service above self. Thank you all.